possible. And after that, you were shown how to create the underpainting using just the brown paint. I recommended that you get a mirror and a photograph of yourself, or use a selfie from your phone to use as reference material, and then start building up on the canvas your painting. So far, so good. So after the brown, we're going to just take two colours, black and white. These two colours will give us a range of tones from very, very dark to very, very light. So obviously we're going to mix them in between and create greys. So this next stage of the underpainting, you don't use any other colours yet. So if you're opening up your tubes of red or yellow or blue or green, don't. Leave them closed until later. You are going to be just doing an underpainting, which will be covered with paint later on, but this is to give you a foundation stone. A good painting is like a house. If you build a house with no foundations, the moment a storm, in other words, the moment it comes to be professionally critiqued or seen, or a storm comes, your house will just blow away, because it is built with nothing strong to hold it to the ground. Same with a painting. If it's not built up with an underpainting, which are like the foundations of a house, it just looks very flat and superficial and empty. So you're wanting to create depth. How far can you make a painting with depth? How deep are you as a human being? That is what art is all about. If you're a superficial person who just lives on the surface, you will create a superficial painting that just lives on the surface. If you are a deep person who has compassion and who feels sensitively, you will create a painting that is deep, full of compassion, and says something to people that helps them. So you can see what painting is about now. Not as simple as you think. It's not like a splashing around for your own fun, but it's something that can go deeper and look beyond just simple human pleasures and give you a profound sense of being. So black and white, mix it up. You know, I'm going to create some greys and things here, so I've got a lot of different tones. Tones just means a range from dark to light, different tones, okay? So just the water, I'm just using a small brush because I'm going to go into just an eye to begin with, so we can see how using the small brush, like a drawing brush, you're trying to bring your painting more to life week by week by week. Give it more life. And like I say, there's no colour now. You can almost think of it like a black and white photograph. Colours come on later. If you've got brown eyes, you make them brown later. If you've got green eyes, green later. Blue eyes, blue later. Right now, grey eyes. Now I'm just going to put the white of the eyes. I'm wanting things to sort of like pop out a bit now and come to life. Yes. Now it requires some patience and maturity, because it's not like the child's painting in the junior school where it's just splashing things on and getting instant results. This is more of somebody who's planning things and building up things to create more profound results beyond the urge of instant gratification. See, and I'm going to build up the sense of 3D qualities using this grey underpainting. So here we go. And like I say, I move back and forth between the mirror and the photograph. The photograph will give me certain qualities that remain static, so I can easily kind of plant something down there. But the mirror will give me more depth. So the two of them combined are really ideal, you know, if you have that setup. When I come to do commissions of paintings for people, you know, people nowadays are not so patient to sit for the possible weeks that require a proper painting to be done. So what I do is I do sketches of them in their house or in the studio, and then I take lots of photographs of them as well. So I have the two things, the living sketches that are done from the human being breathing and existing in front of me, and the still photographs. So between the two of those things, if you're doing portraiture seriously later on, between those two items you have a good set of reference material to build up a quality painting later on. So if any of you are serious about this and you want to talk to me about it, because we have a very big range of class, you know, from very serious artists who want to make a career out of it, to people that more or less, you know, stumbled in through the door and don't quite know why they're here, but they've heard about art, but they've never exhibited any talents for it in their life. And that's good, you know, it's okay, you know, why not? You know, you have to try lots of things. Of course, it may be the one and only time you ever do it, but it's still better than never having done it. Not everybody is good at art. It's like singing. Sometimes no matter how much you try, you can't do it, as is evident if you watch American Idol. You can see that there are people who are convinced they are good singers, but quite frankly, you can hear that they are not. So I'm building up this with the greys. Now try and do it kind of with control like I am doing it, so you don't end up spluttering and covering the whole face. You're not painting skin just now, you're painting the underpainting, so you're trying to bring the face to life, not just slather over like makeup, putting it all over the face. Okay. So I'm going to do one half of the nose lighter on this side. I'm going to bring out the center of the nose here. Now obviously, you know, when this dries, we'll do the next layer. So you're doing this first of all. Now you can see I've put some layers of the black and white here, so then you'll use another brush. And you've got a lot of brushes. I mean, I asked you to buy a lot of brushes. So you use another brush and you kind of blend in all the different layers like that. Does this make sense? You see how I'm doing it? So here we go. So rather than it all sitting like in chunks, blending, 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 and the nose becomes one piece. Anyway, we hope it does. You need some patience, and you need to deal with your own mental battle. A lot of it is you thinking to yourself, I can't do this. And that, of course, is a major battle. So the real enemy is yourself, your own mind, your own thinking. And when it is constantly saying to you, I'm no good, I'm no good, I'm no good, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You do become no good, no good, no good. So try and deal with that. Let that be your main battle. there's no one to blame but yourself. You can always blame your parents or society or politicians or someone like that, but ultimately our biggest enemy is ourself and the negative thinking. So battle with that, let that be it, and that will show people something. You know, once you get into the painting and you've worked through that stuff, it'll come into the painting, and the painting will have something that is interesting to see. It's not just a photograph of painting, it's a recording of struggle and dealing with inner feelings, inner thoughts, inner happiness, inner torment, all the stuff that goes on inside of us. You know, there's a whole range of things, as you know. So here we go, and I see how I'm blending it and bouncing the brush back and forth on this head, like so. Now, how long have I been painting this grey? Right, so we're on the 10 minutes. So I'm just doing him like a black and white photograph, so think of it like that. Now, some people have said to me, shall I just do the head? I say, no, do the shoulders and do the neck. Obviously, you don't want it to look like a head that's been severed off, you know. So put a neck and shoulders on yourself, please. So I'm going to try and do this fairly quickly. I'm going to do a light, you know, using more of the white. So we're using just black and white paint. I'm going to do a light around the edge of the face here to make him stand out. Put a light in there. There. Now this is why you need all those brushes. You know, you should have, if you got the pack that I asked you to buy from the store in Harlem, you should have like 12 or 13 brushes altogether, which might seem like a lot, but actually it's not that many. You know, you need all of them. So here I am. So I'm going to do the mouth just in black and white as well. So I'm going to do the top lip dark, like that. And the bottom lip a bit lighter. And again, you know, back to the old things that I've been teaching you all along. The shadow underneath the lip, the shadow underneath the nose. Bring that in like there. Now obviously I'm doing this quickly, so you have a lot longer than I have to do this. You have the whole week, and one hopes that with all that time you do manage to get something done. You know, it's a task, but it should be an enjoyable task. Just get a brush. Yeah. Okay, so you can see what I've done here. I've knocked in some things. So again, I'm smoothing things in together and blending it. Blending them together so that we get some sort of harmony. And you know, with a painting, you start rough, you finish smooth. The words they use is start loose, finish tight. So we're starting this pretty loose, you know, it's just an impression, you know, and obviously it takes much more time to get right into it, you know, like I will eventually. Now if your hand gets wobbly, use a brush like this. See, can you see how I'm doing that? And just use it to stabilize your hand. Okay. So here I am stabilized, and I'm drawing the eye with the thin brush that you all should have from the box from Blick Art Supplies. So I'm using that thin brush just to get back into that eye, using a darker grey. Okay. And for the pupil, jet black. That's that. And I'm going to go around the eye here, the white of the eye. These are the only bits of the face that have pure white and pure black. This little black pupil in the middle here and this white around the eye. That's where you get those two there together. So again, with the thinner brush, you kind of draw in things that you've lost. So, you know, I'm trying to give you a quick impression of how to go about this stuff. So you'll lose stuff as paint kind of merges in around it. Then take the thinner brush, which is, I regard it just like drawing, and use it with some darker paint. I'm drawing back in the nostrils. I'm drawing back in the side of the nose. You can see that I've lost that with the waffling with the paint. So I've got that, you know, and it's okay to have some of that brown sticking through. It gives it that professional look, and that's what basically I am teaching you, how to do a painting that can give a professional impression. I'll just stick in a pair of eyebrows here to give him something, you know, give the poor man some eyebrows. Now I'm going to go under the chin. Give him some hair. See, I'm just scuffling it in. You see, that's, you don't need to worry about hair. Just see how that's been done? Just quick seconds. Okay, here we go again. Give that ear some life. And you remember I told you the ears, don't worry about them. No one looks at them unless they're in the wrong position. And I showed you how to position the ears. Top of the ear at the top of the eye, bottom of the ear at the bottom of the nose. So if you get lost, just remember that. If you get lost. See how I'm lighting up around the edge of the face again? And you see then I blend that in, because you don't want a white kind of line around his face. Blending, blending, blending. That's where you need your bigger brushes and push in hard the canvas. Canvas can take hard work. Making it lighter there. So you're going to be looking for the light and dark on the face. That's all you're doing this week, is checking out for the light and dark and putting that in as the underpainting. The underpainting is like the shadows under the painting. So in there like that. Here we go. Where it stops, nobody knows. I'm going to just quickly do the skin here of the shoulders. I remember I told you, put in some neck and shoulders, for God's sake. Unless you are a disembodied head floating around, then you have to leave them out, but I've never seen that in my life. So, in there like that. Bang, bang, bang. Bob's your uncle. Bit more. I need a bigger brush. Yeah, here we go. Now, you know, when you see bits that disturb you, go back into them again, blend them out. You know, it's a process of blending, correcting, seeing things that are wrong. You know, you always see artists stand back and look at their paintings. That's them checking out to see what's not working. And a million things will not work, and it's always being changed and fixed until you get this great likeness somehow that comes with time. If art was so easy, everybody would be an artist. You know, who's going to want to work in McDonald's frying pieces of poor animals that have been killed when you can do art. But obviously art is not that easy to do professionally, or else everybody would be doing it. And I guess that's, for those of you who've never exhibited any talent in art, that's what you're finding out just now, just how difficult art is, you know, and that's good, you know, because even if you never become an artist, you will look at paintings with a new appreciation of the skill that artists have to create these things. And because until you try something, you don't really understand what it takes to achieve something that's good. You just take it for granted. So I'm doing this guy black and white. I've been on it now for 18 minutes. You could say 15 minutes with all the talking. And that's how he's come out. So you're going to just do that, and you can draw in things again. You see how I'm doing that? I hope this all makes sense. Draw in the lips. Draw in that. Give a bit of edge here. Darken the eye. You see that eye's almost coming to life. I hope it is anyway. What are you looking for in art? You're looking for life. That's what you're looking for. There we go. So I'm going to leave that pretty loose because, I mean, there's still a lot of stuff that's going to come on top of this later when we come to do the skin on top of all this shadowing. So there we go, you know, that's it. That's this week. I mean, I could keep going on. Obviously, I'm starting just to get into this, and you can see how it's going in layers. You can use your finger if you want, you know. It's not going to hurt your finger. There we are, you know, I'm starting to get into it. You know, you start to get a feeling for it, and then once that feeling comes, those of you who are going to get into art and get addicted to it and really find the love of it will do that. Those of you who just, oh my God, you know, it's like fossilized. Nothing's coming, you know, you'll know it, you'll know it. You'll know it. You'll know when you get the bug. It just either comes or it doesn't come. And when the bug comes, it's a great feeling. There we go. See, it's starting to, you're wanting to bring that thing to life. You're wanting to give it feeling and emotion, because the difference between a photograph and a human living painting in front of you is that it has energy that seems to be always alive. Even after hundreds of years, you know, old paintings still seem to have that vibrancy and life, whereas photographs within about, you know, a very short time just are recordings of a period in time and look dead. So that's the difference. Painting's always alive. There, you can see. So it's coming, you know, I'm starting to just slowly get into this myself, you know, and once you get into it, you've got that excitement to do the next layer, which will be the skin. So that's